Hey plant friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Connie and this channel is all about plants. I post a lot of plant shopping tours at local garden centers as well as big box stores and other plant related videos. So if you're interested in that type of content, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about my 2024 plant wish list and also my plant goals, because I feel like my plant goals tie in with my wish list. So basically, last year my wish list was a lot longer than what it is this year. And I feel like it's because I have so many plants in my collection already that I want to start trying to do new things with the plants that I already have. And that ties into my plant goals. So I'm going to tell you about the few plants that I do have on my wish list, and then we'll talk about what my goals are for my plants. So I'm actually going to talk a little bit about my 2023 plant wish list first and let you guys know which plants I got and if they're still in my possession, and a little bit about how they're doing so far. The first plant is the Monstera Constellation, and if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while now, you probably remember my unboxing video. And since then, I think I lost one leaf due to the transport. It yellowed off eventually and I clipped it, but I also got a new leaf and I have repotted the plant, and when I checked it yesterday, it's actually pushing out another new leaf. So I think it seems to be happy, and yeah, the Thai Constellation is doing well. The next plant is my Monstera silta, and once again, if you are familiar with my channel, you probably remember that I have been searching for that plant for so long. And a while back, I did find one at Lowe's, but it was in terrible condition, and I ended up leaving it there because I didn't think it was worth trying to save. And since then, I've been trying to find another one, and just up until recently, a lot of the big box stores here locally have been carrying them, and I found one at Lowe's, and so far it's doing really well. Someone mentioned in the comments that maybe I should put it on a poll, so I'm actually considering that. But yeah, Monstera silta is another one that I got, and it's still here in my collection. Another plant that you guys probably know that I was looking for the longest was the Jenia pothos, and finally I found it at a Home Depot store. There were actually like 6 hanging baskets, and they were so full and nice, and I actually picked up a couple of them because I wanted to make sure that I had insurance in case one of them did not make it. I always had another one, and so I still have one of them. The other one I sold at one of my pop-up shops, but I still have this one here in my collection, and it's doing fairly well. I don't like how leggy it looks now. Another thing about it is that it is kind of losing its variegation, so I guess it's not getting enough light. So I got to work on that, but yeah, I still have that one in my collection right now, and hopefully I can try to get some of that variegation back and maybe get the pot to be a little bit fuller somehow, but that all ties in with my plant goals that I'll talk to you about in a little bit. Another plant on that 2023 wish list is the Aliccia Jaclyna, and I just found one not too long ago at a local Lowe's, and surprisingly, it's doing fine so far. I know that Alocasias like high humidity, and they also like the soil to be on the moist side, so I've been trying to stay on top of that, and I do have it under a grow light, so I know that that helps also. So yeah, Aliccia Jaclyna's doing fine. Another one is the Agena Cutless, and I did an unboxing video on that one. I got one from Hertz Gardens, and it's doing excellent. I feel like aglaonemas are super easy to care for, and this one is doing really well. Okay, so some of the plants that were on my 2023 plant wish list that I no longer have are the Syngonium Winlandii. I found that one at a Home Depot, and it was a nice full pot. I actually picked up 2 of them and I combined them. That one was fairly easy to care for, but then I put it outside because I felt like it needed to grow more and get fuller. And once I put it outside, it took off and it got really full, but I ended up selling that one at a pop-up shop. Another one that I got from my 2023 wish list is the Syngonium Frosted Heart, and that was a really pretty little plant. And it was doing okay for a while, but I think because it was in a 4-inch pot and it needed to be watered so often, eventually the leaves started getting yellow when I didn't water it on time, and so I started plucking off the lower leaves, and then it was growing upward, so it was looking very leggy because the bottom part of the stem was so bare and then the leaves were towards the top. So I decided to put that one outside to give it a second chance, and it's still out there now, and I don't know if it's going to grow more leaves on the bottom or not, or if I'm going to have to propagate it eventually, but I do have that one and it's outside for a second chance. And then one last plant that I had on that list and I got was the Antheriumclarinervium, and I did an unboxing video on that where I got it imported here. That plant didn't make it. It did not do well in the transport, and within a few days it completely yellowed and it died. So that's one that I had, but it didn't make it. So there were 2 more plants on that 2023 plant wish list that I did not get yet, and those are rolling over to my 2024 plant wish list. Those are the Hoya polyura. That's the fishtail Hoya. I think that one is so beautiful, and I just love how unique those leaves are. They look like mermaid tails, and I'm just looking for just a regular green one. If I could get one of the variegated ones, that would be a plus, but that's the first one on my 2024 plant wish list. Another one is the Aglaonema Siam Jade, and you guys know how much I love aglaonemas, and when I saw this one immediately went to the top of my list. It has the most beautiful variegation on this. Another plant that I've been seeing so much lately that I wouldn't mind having in my collection is the variegated Aliccia Fried EG. And this is another plant with the most beautiful variegation. And I already like the original version because of the dark green velvety leaves. But this one with this variegation is just a plus. And the last 2 plants that I have on my list that I wouldn't mind having, but I'm not really seeking out to get them, are the monkey tail cactus, which I think is just such a cool looking cactus. If I find one, I think I'll get it, but I'm not going to be actively looking for it. And the other one is the variegated Monstera adansonii. I'm not really actively seeking any type of plants right now. I just want to work on different things with the plants that I already have. So now I'm going to get into what my 2024 plant goals are. So one of the first plant goals I have for 2024 is to be more diligent about repotting my plants. And I'll admit that I don't always repot my plants as soon as I get them. And because I have so many plants, I get backed up with my repotting, and I want to get better about that. One of the other things is that some of the smaller plants that I have, I want to repot sooner because I feel like they dry out sooner and I'm constantly having to water them. Another thing is that I have a lot of aglaonemas in my collection, and when I get them from big box stores, a lot of times they come with either mesh or little plastic cups around the roots. And although I don't feel like that's all too harmful when it's a small plant establishing new roots, I feel like eventually when the roots are established, those cups and the mesh need to come off because I feel like they will hinder the plant from new growth. So I do need to get better about repotting my aglaonemas when I bring them home so that I can get those cups and the mesh off of them. And then there's just plants that I get sometimes that come with horrible soil that don't really suit the plant. And I want to just use my own customized soil mix. And other times there's plants that come with bugs inside the soil. So yeah, I want to be on top of my repotting a lot more this year. I also want to make sure I fertilize my plants more. If you're a new plant parent, your plant doesn't just need water, it also needs food. I'm also talking to myself because I don't always fertilize on time. So I want to make sure I start fertilizing my plants more often. I have added more lighting to my plant room, so I am proud of myself about that. But I still feel like I can use a little bit more light in here. So that's something that I'll be working on also. I also want to start combining some of my plants that I have duplicates of, or some of the plants that are smaller that don't have that many leaves on them or might be kind of leggy, perhaps some of my pothos or even some of my aglaonemas, and make maybe some plant arrangements, and that will also help me to save some space in here. Another thing is that I just want to try to display my plants a little bit more creatively. I just recently got a couple IKEA glass cabinets, so that's going to be one way that I can display my plants a little bit different than I did before. But I also want to do some other things just to try to make it look a little bit more aesthetic in here. And don't get me wrong, I really love how my plants look here in my plant room, but I do feel like there are some things that I could do to make it look even better. And I also want to try some new things that I've wanted to do in the past, like for instance, more DIY projects with my plants. And I have some things in mind. I've always wanted to mount a staghorn fern, and I actually bought the wood and all the materials maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I never did it. So I just recently did a little gallery wall in front of my desk here, and I think that'll be like the perfect touch to put in an empty space that I have up there. So that's another thing that I want to do. Another DIY project that I want to try is a clay pot wreath, and I actually already have all the materials for this. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing what the outcome is, and I'll share that here on my channel. I also would like to start trying to put some of my plants on moss poles to try to get some bigger leaves, because I think that's so cool how so many other plant YouTubers put their plants on the moss poles and they're getting these really huge leaves and all this new growth, because a lot of my plants, they either trail and the leaves stay small, or they just don't do all that much. So I would like to try putting some plants on moss poles as well. So my overall plant goals for 2024 is basically to tend more to the existing plants that I have in my collection so that I get more growth and healthier plants, and also to try some new things with the plants that I already have. So my question to you is, at this point in your plant journey, what do you prefer as far as the size of your plant collection? Would you rather have a large plant collection and keep on searching for the next best plant? Or are you at that stage now where you just want to have a smaller collection with more meaningful plants and possibly downsize? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, there's no right or wrong answers. I just basically wanted to open up the discussion to see what your thoughts are, and let me know in the comments if you have any plant goals for 2024 and if you share some of the same goals that I do. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share for more plant-related videos. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.